Booyah! How to think like Sherlock Holmes. Mastermind. I know it's been a while, people. Where have I been? Everywhere. Come on. It takes time to read these books. I've been reading like 20 books. I'm about to upload a bunch of books. I promise you. Stay with me, people. How to think like Sherlock Holmes. Maria Konnikova. Sounds like Maria Sharapova, right? Like the tennis player, Konnikova. It's all these Obas. Oba, what's my name? Oba. All right, I'm having to. Look, hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Leo Flowers with another book review. Get this book, Mastermind. There are three things I want to point out to you in this book that I love about this book. One, it answered the question of why he keeps Watson around. I was like, yo, Sherlock Holmes is a mastermind. Why you got Watson around? Who undermines your mastermind? But the book broke it down like this, in that because Watson immediately usually sees the surface of a situation, like he notes the obvious, and he also usually casts a wide net in terms of what's happening. It allows for Sherlock to focus on the details and to hone in on it, because as Watson is talking and Sherlock is like, it allows Sherlock to debate and question what Watson is saying and creating counter arguments to Watson's theories and hypotheses. So in the very beginning, when they walk into a crime scene, Sherlock Holmes definitely needs Watson to give his input as to what took place, why it took place, and what he's observing. And then that allows Sherlock's brain to think on a deeper level of like, no, it couldn't have been that, because if that was the case, then this would have happened, and if it was this, then this, blah, blah, blah. So it allows him to create this kind of like thinking tree of why this would, and if that happened, and blah, blah, blah. So that's why he keeps Watson around. It's like why Batman keeps Robin around. And also he keeps him around because by explaining to Watson his reasoning for what he believes, it reinforces in his brain, Sherlock's brain, why he's doing it. It keeps him sharp. It's like when a teacher's teaching you a lesson, then because the teacher's listening to themselves say it, and then also your nonverbal cues and feedback, that allows him to it allows him to think out loud, basically. And then as he's saying it, it also allows his brain to work and attack it at an even deeper level. So that's why he keeps Watson around. It allows for him to think deeper, and it also keeps his thinking in check. Because if he says something that's ridiculous, either Watson will call him out on it, or he'll realize it himself as he's saying it. Another cool thing about this book is it talks about availability heuristic, meaning that when we judge a situation, whether it's relationships or a person or work or life in general, it's usually based on the information that is recently available to us. Meaning, like if you watch the news, right? And you know, the news is mostly death and you know, just negative stuff about the world. If I ask you about the world after you watch the news, you're probably going to have a negative outlook, like, probably won't be here much longer. Earthquake will probably wipe us out. There's not going to be any food. We're going to be, you know, I'll probably get robbed on the way home from work. But that's because that's what's available to you. It's like when I watch a scary movie, you know, afterwards, I'm probably going to lock all my locks. I'm locking the doors, the windows. I'm putting locks on stuff. But the same thing, like when I watch a kung fu movie like Bruce Lee, then I think I'm Bruce Lee. You know, I'm like, oh man, everybody should do karate. I think Bruce Lee could take Batman. What do you think? That's just a thought. Anyway, but I love that about the book. So it's like, when you think about, if you have like decisions that you want to make, you have to be aware of what's affecting your decisions or what's affecting your view. Maybe you saw a billboard on the way in, and that's affecting your emotions or your behavior. It's just like the other day, I was craving a pizza, and I was like, why am I craving pizza? And then I remembered I saw a sign for pizza earlier, and I was like, it got me. Because sometimes we're influenced by things and we don't even know it. Availability heuristic. It talks about that. Third thing it talks about that I think is really cool is once Sherlock Holmes puts his brain on something and then he talks about it out loud with Watson, he goes into a period of where he needs to be by himself to think about it. But it's an active focus. And what he does is, like, he has the pipe and everything, and smoking the pipe allows him to relax but still keep his mind engaged. And they were saying how anytime you have a problem or something you want to think about, you want to spend some time, 20 minutes in the book it recommends. It says that your brain can really only focus really intently on something for 20 minutes at a time. So take 20 minutes to really put your brain on something, and then pick something that allows you to actively relax, like smoking a cigar, playing the piano, going for a walk, washing the dishes. Something that where you're taking a focus off what you're doing, but you're doing something else. But it can't be something so strenuous that then you're not able to think about what you want to think about. So, like, play the guitar only if you know how to play the guitar. Don't use the guitar as something, like if you have no idea how to play the guitar, don't use that to relax and help you focus on it, because then you'd be too stressed out trying to learn to play the guitar to allow your brain to focus on, your brain would be too focused on trying to play the guitar than it would be on the problem you're trying to solve. Does that make sense? The book covers all that in there. But those were the 3 cool things I wanted to pull out of how to think like Sherlock Holmes. So I'll go over it again, is 1, keep somebody around you that allows for a sounding board so that you can hear yourself thinking out loud, and that in turn reinforces what you're thinking. 2, when you want to think about a problem, have something that will actively engage you, but at the same time is relaxing so it doesn't stress you out. And then 3, availability heuristic. Make sure that your views and perspectives and decisions you want aren't affected by something that somebody said or something that you saw earlier. I mean, of course it always is, but try to make your decisions based on, try to be as objective as possible when dealing with that, and recognizing the things that could be affecting. Like your best friend said something, or like if your friends, all right, I'm going off on a tangent. Anyway, I'm your boy, Leo Flowers. Leave a review or comment or like or whatever, and and I got, what's the next book I'm going to read? I think Cleopatra. Oh, I'm reading 48 Laws of Power. That'll be the next book.